Alright gang, as you can see, and as you may have seen on the last little rant video, we've got the engine in connected to the drive shaft. It has the hydro pulley on it, but like I said, I'm going to wait a little while before I put the hydro on. That'll probably go on in the winter. Now all we've really got to do is take care of all the buttoning up, which is reinstalling the front grill mesh and the front grill frame, gas tank, connecting the wiring, the cables, stick a battery in, put gas in the gas tank, run fuel line, and then this thing should be ready for its maiden voyage here on the ranch. One other thing I am going to try to do, one other thing I'm going to do is get the bevel gearbox pulley for this side so that I've got the mid PTO put together and ready to go. There's nothing wrong with the shaft. Apparently it was just needed, so I'll do that once I get everything else tidied up here, like installing the gas tank, which is sitting right there, and the grill frame, which is sitting right there, side panels sitting there, battery sitting there in a battery tray. I also need to get a piece of fiberglass to put between the battery and gas tank, keep any acid from getting over to the gas tank. You can see we've got plenty of paint here, not so much here. Well, that's because of battery acid, and that battery acid comes down and runs down this side and goes down and rusts the bottoms of your tank out. So if you eliminate the possibility of acid getting to it with the little battery tray and with a little piece of fiberglass to insulate between the tank and the battery, just going to be one step ahead. You can also, if you want to, put felt underneath the gas tank, a couple little felt pads, and what that'll do, it'll bring the tank up just a little bit, so any acid that comes off isn't going to make direct contact with the bottom of the gas tank. But that's where we're at. Then we'll have to do final adjustments on the brake band, which we don't have done. We've got tires to get installed. Like I said, I'm going to use the 23 10.5 12 Carlisle True Powers sitting out here on the old forlorn B10. I'm not going to change the rims off on it yet. I'll do that at a later date as well. I just want to get it ready to go and moving under its own power. The only other thing that I've really got to do is this tire needs a new valve stem and just resealed. So if the rim is in good shape and not all rusted inside, that's an easy enough thing to do, but it takes it like 3 days to leak down. Also, you guys don't let me forget, I have to add oil to the engine before we fire it up, or we're going to have a big old smoky mess and a blown engine. I also have, this is an old original Nelson muffler that I put on. I took off that little salt and pepper muffler that was right there. And these are okay, they're good and quiet. I like these that are welded on. In fact, I've got a couple more up here in my little muffler stash, but I'd rather have the original on there. And we might grab a little bit of steel wool and a little bit of soapy water and see if we can't clean things up a little bit as far as the bright work goes. I've even been able to, using that same method, clean up the rust that has just bled down onto the white paint. But this is going to be a worker, so I'm not overly concerned about it, to be quite honest with you. There was something else that on the most recent video that I didn't show, and that was putting this spring on. What I did was I got a longer bolt and then put a jam nut and then a couple of washers and ran that spring to there to give me my pullback pressure. And as you can see, I now will need to make my adjustments to get my 7/16 there, and this makes for a correct adjustment. So then we have our return spring up front that's also been moved just a little bit and correctly positioned. But instead of me sitting here babbling on for 20 minutes, I'll turn the camera on after I get each little component in there. See you guys here and there and everywhere. Alright gang, here's where we're at now. We've got the fuel line run. I just ran it through the hydro hole. I'll re-situate it when I do put the hydro in. The gas tank mounted. I need to order a cap. Batteries in. Wires are all connected. Used electric grease on everything. So it's pretty much ready to put the front grille frame on. The other side cover is sitting right there on the grille frame. Not a whole lot else to do other than get these back tires swapped out, and I've got a couple of white ones back there I'm just going to throw on for the moment until I get the others swapped over, get the ags swapped over to the wider rims. That way I'm not changing tires a whole bunch of times. And I still need to locate the PTO pulley, but shouldn't be a problem. There's all kinds of them over there on the other side of the lift. I want to thank everybody for their kind words on the last 2 videos that I posted. Really appreciate that. And yeah, it's the way you're supposed to conduct business. But that's enough of that. It's over. As far as I'm concerned, it's completely over. Might work on the bright work a little bit with some steel wool and such like I mentioned before. But let me locate that pulley for the mid PTO. We'll get the grille frame on and the hood on and gas in it. Gas in the gas hole. The other side cover on. See if she's going to play nice. Stay tuned. Alright gang, we're getting ever closer, and I thought I would stop and show you real quick. There is a way to align everything so that your hood will sit properly down in the 2 perches, in the 2 slots. And that is simply to, when you've got your grill support fastened down tight, as you can see these are still loose. When you've got it fastened down tight and your hood's hard to get on, just loosen these 2, loosen that one a little bit, loosen the 2 on the other side, and then there's another one up top here, which I'll show you right now. And the one up top has a keyhole slot, and the whole works will move quite a bit for you. But you can see that bolt right there and that bracket right behind it. That's what you want to loosen. Set the hood down, secure the hood so that the hood is happy in the back and in the front, where these will slot down in there and the back will slot down in there. And then cinch these down, cinch your T-bolts or whatever you have for hood bolts down. Then tighten all 5 of these bottom ones. That'll hold everything right where it needs to be. Then you can pop the hood back off and re-tighten or tighten this one up here. And having all that support is going to help make sure that your hood comes on and off easily. But we're just about there. We just have the side cover over there to put on. Splash of gas in the gas tank. I did get the PTO pulley. The PTO itself, the bearings are shot, but I just want to make sure I had the PTO. And as you can see right here, it says mid PTO right on it. I don't know how well you can see it there. Mid PTO. So we're golden as far as that goes. Let me finish buttoning it up. We'll put some fuel in it. I ran the fuel line in through the back, but you can run it outside too. I do it both ways, it doesn't really matter. Fuel filter is back up underneath, and my fuel shutoff for the gas tank itself works quite well, so I didn't need to put an inline fuel shutoff. But let's get her finished up and on the ground, add some gas to it, see if she'll start and play nice. Alright, quick walk around. Those wrenches are for a reason, we'll see in a minute. Got the good tires on there. Side covers on. Everything but a gas cap. So we are ready to add fuel. I'll show you guys that it's empty, so you don't think I've already started it. It's completely bone dry down there. So let's add some fuel. Okay. It's a filling. I don't need to fill it all the way up. Just put enough in there that we're sure we're going to get to the carburetor. Should be enough. I love these things. Alright. Got to turn fuel on. Maybe. If I can find the knob. There it is. Hello, knob. It's a little tough to get to. There we go. I'm going to let that drain in for a second, and while that's filling the carburetor up, I'll show you guys what these are for. These are to adjust the brake band that I talked about in the last video. If you look right at the bottom, right down here, there are two jam nuts. So you just unjam them and then loosen or tighten so that it works in conjunction with your clutch. And got myself adjusted here to 7/16. Got my spring tension going there. I've got my pull spring here and another one up there, so we should be good. Let me show you guys the play on this bevel gearbox. Are you ready? You got to watch really, really close. Talking next to nothing. I mean next to nothing. Okay, well, we obviously had fuel because, oh no, no drip. I thought that that was a drip from the carburetor, but it's not. So let's see if she starts after all this hard work. I'm rooting for me. I'm rooting for the B-12. Are we ready? Oh, let's see if she's gonna fire. Ah, the seat's comfy. First time I've sat in it. That idle, full choke, key on, clutch in. do a little bit of adjusting to the carburetor, but shouldn't be anything major. My guess is just the idle circuit is clogged, but moves under its own power in all gears. And as soon as I hit the D-clutch position, immediately had brake. So now I'm going to show you guys. Oh, I'll wait for the applause. Yay! Zippo's got a B-12 that started right up. I was hopeful. Not very good at working on these Briggs engines. Alright, let me find a good spot to mount the camera where you guys are going to be able to see what's going on. Hang on just a second. Alright, gang. What I've done is set the parking brake. If you can't set your parking brake, then take your clutch pedal, push it as far forward as it'll go, and try to wedge something somewhere to hold it in place. The reason I did that was so that it would grab the brake drum. I wanted it to grab the brake drum so that I could loosen it to the point where it no longer grabs the brake drum. Why? Because I still have more travel on that clutch and brake pedal. So you have two jam nuts. You have one right there and one right above it. Get yourself a wrench on one of them. Get yourself a wrench on the other one. Loosen the bottom one. Get in there. Did that loosen? Yep. Okay. And spin that bottom one down a bit, because that's the direction you're going to be going to loosen the band. You want to lengthen this distance here. So this is after you've done your clutch adjustment. I'll loosen her down a bit. I know it's long-winded and it's boring, but I wanted to do this in 4 reels time. Allergies are just kicking my butt. It's a nice day out, so I wanted to keep the doors open. But that doesn't always agree real well with my... Okay, I can see there it just started to loosen up. You see that just spun? So I'm going to go just a little bit more, maybe to there. Then we'll lock them back down, and I'll start it up, pull it out into the yard, and we'll check and see how that adjustment is. But you want to be able to declutch and come to a coasting stop without really mashing on the clutch / brake pedal. Then you want to be able to mash on the clutch brake pedal to activate the brakes. Should be pretty self-explanatory after we get done this next part. So we've got it to where it's loose, okay? But like I said, I still have brake clutch pedal. So let's cut this. I'll see you guys outside. Well, it's not the prettiest thing on the block, but it ought to get the job done. Yeah, I blew some of the dust off of it, and I found a cap. It's not the right one, but it fits just fine. Okay, this thing just fires right up right now. Carburetor needs a little bit of attention. So what we're going to pay attention to here is my foot position. I'm going to go in 3rd gear to press the clutch so that it'll coast, and see that it coasts to a stop. to make some carburetor adjustments here. It sounds like it's running out of gas. I just shut it off, but you guys get the idea. And carburetor decided it was going to start leaking a little bit too, so I'll have to pay a little bit more attention to it. But there it is, the new work mule for the property, which is going to semi-retire the old 61-62 Garden Mark Squire. Hope you guys enjoyed this series. And I want to thank Green Mule again, Mr. Mule, because every chance I got, I dipped into that new hardware that he sent. I used it in a number of places. So we'll do a full-on walk around here so you guys can see that. I mean, it's a complete B-12. Steers nice, rides nice. Engine's bolted down with Green Mule bolts. I do have one footrest that's bent up a little bit, so I'll need to straighten that out. And I did not put the right hand lift on yet. More than likely all this is going to have on it for a while will be the front blade, and I won't need the right hand lift on there for that. But if the time comes when I need two implements, it'll be on there. Oh, and when Joshua took the high-low off there, he forgot to get the narrower plate. So if he runs into any issues, he can just cut his original one down, because this is for a high-low. The original ones are a little bit deeper, about like that. But there we are. I'm happy enough with it. Hope you guys enjoyed riding along with me on this little do-it-for-myself B-12 adventure. It's going to use oil. It's got bad axle seals. Carburetor needs some loving, but hey, I'm about as happy as I can be. And to think, when I got it initially, I was going to sell it. Didn't want it. Now I changed my mind. Alright gang, that's it. Your friendly neighborhood Zippo. If you would please, if you're not subscribed, please do subscribe. 90% of my viewers are not subscribed, which is just mind-boggling. So if you watch my videos on a regular basis, please hit that subscribe button and hit a like if you like this and the other series. I'll probably do a playlist on this to make it a little easier on people to get their feet wet into these types of tractors. It's been a long time since I've done anything this major on this style of garden tractor, and I've had a lot of requests for them, so I covered a bunch of different things. It's moving on its own. It's ready to go. I covered a number of things that I've not covered in other videos, like setting the clutch and setting the clutch/brake and setting the grill and just a bunch of different stuff. So I think there's a little bit of valuable information in there, and I promise you guys I will see you on the next one. Again, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Catch y'all later. I'm out of here.